All right, guys. This video, I filmed all these little clips a year ago when I rebuilt the steering box in this 56 F100 that used to be my dad's. Um, I watched other videos and they explained everything very well and reading the instructions on the kit that I bought. And then I just filmed little spots that weren't explained well and where I got stuck, where I had a little problem. So hopefully these will help you. That's why this thing's kind of all cut up. It's not a from start to finish kind of a thing. And I'm editing it together now and putting it out there. Hopefully I can help someone else. Enjoy. Okay, so rebuilding steering box on a 1956 F100 pickup. My gear, well, the old one's over there. This gear is very chewed up, but the sector gear looks really good. I'm comparing width of the gears and stuff. It all looks really good the way this rides in here. This one looks very much the same. Plus, you have to apparently grind these out. This is mushroomed in here a little bit, this pin. And the way the instructions are reading, you got to grind it out on one end, drive that through. Then when you put the new one in, you got to put this pin in. The pin is long, so it has to be cut off and then welded. And I'm not a confident welder. I could go find someone to do it for me and all that, but mine looks good enough. It rolls nice. I'm not going to bother with it. All right, so I got it together like it says. It recommended 4 paper shims to start with, and then check it for smoothness and end play. And there's no end play. Everything seems tight, but when I spin it, see it. I don't know if you can see it spinning. There's a hard spot, almost like something's bent. So I'm going to play with that now. Maybe take a shim out and see if it changes. Okay, so I had an old man moment there. Taking shims out makes it tighter. The shaft wouldn't turn at all. So this is that tube that the horn wire goes through, and you just add these paper shims and put it back in and try it again. Okay, just for my own experience and fun, I probably needed to add 1 shim, but I added like 3 or 4. I think all of them that I had, all but 2. And those even seem thicker than all the other ones. But it spins super free and easy, but I don't know if you can hear that. It's just loose and wobbly and has end play. So that's what it feels like to have too much. So I'm going to narrow it down in there and get it figured out. So clamped it to the little cart here to work on it better. I got 5 shims in there, or 4, back to like they said in the beginning. There's when it's in the loose spot, there's no play if any, but it's got this right there, a hard spot in it, and then it turns. You got a hard spot, and then it turns freely. It's like something's bent in there. I'm thinking I just got to live with it. I think this, repop parts, you never know, but I don't think on the road I'm going to notice that so much, especially with the leverage of the steering wheel. I might feel it, but it's not going to be bothersome. See how it goes. You can always take it back apart. Okay, 5 shims, and I like it. No end play. It's rolling smooth now. It's feeling good. The only thing I'm going to do now, since I like where it's at, I'm going to take these bolts out and put a little bit of the blue Loctite on them. Just a tiny bit. In the truck, I noticed over time, every time this was my dad's truck and now it's mine, but every time I'd be looking at it, these would be loose. A couple different times I checked them, and these bolts were always trying to back out on the truck. So I'm just going to put a little Loctite on, make sure they stay in. And it could have been part of the gears coming apart in this thing too, who knows. But yep, steering smooth now. We're moving on. Alright, and this is the adjuster plate. This is going to hook into here. And I got to turn this thing around. The gears are down in there. They're where they're going to intersect, and this is part of the adjustment in and out. Just wanted to compare. See the difference. Well, here's my old one. See how sharp and worn it is from being jammed into the gear improperly. I'm sure I did some adjusting improperly, but it was probably done before I messed with it too, compared to the new one there. So that was obviously a big problem. Okay, next little problem. So this adjuster screw, you know, it goes through here. So it's like that. You put that washer on it, it's supposed to slide down in here. Mine, once it's, I can tap it down in there, but then the screw doesn't turn. It's got to be able to turn freely. You can see the groove it's got to go in. You can see the wear marks from where it used to be. I think that's why this one ground up like it is. I don't know why they tapered it. It would have just gone off. So if I need to, I guess I'm just going to take some off the top right there on the grinder. I really hate to. I do want to use it. It's longer than the old one for whatever reason, but I want to use the new screw. I don't like how all this is all shaved up here, looking bad. So yeah, I guess I just take a little off of that. I'm gonna think about it a minute. Okay, this is probably a year later since I did that rebuild. Just getting around to editing the video now. That adjusting screw, I did grind the end off a little bit and got it to go in there, and it adjusted. It started working. Sure did have to fight it for a little while though. Okay, so working on getting it back in there. You can see the shaft is in there. Steering box is bolted in. Here's just a little advice. Before you put your steering box back in, get in here and open this a little bit. This has to slide over this felt washer and onto there, and that all clamps together. This all has to come down, and I didn't. So now I got to fight it with a screwdriver or something, but it'd be much easier to put something in and spread this open just a little bit while you still have the steering box out. Learn from my lessons. Well, that worked real good. I spread that open with a screwdriver a little bit and pushed the felt up in it a little bit, and then I actually came inside. Since I can see what's going on in here, you can see how the shaft sticks out now. But you know, put a hand here and a hand down low, and just wiggled and pushed, and poof, slid on. I'll try to get it on a little farther. Well, a little more pushing, and it went all the way down to its seat. But I don't think that's where it was. I mean, I think 56s have a longer shaft, and this is a 56. I could have a column out of a 55 or something, maybe. At some point it got changed. Who knows? But it wasn't sticking out that far before. At least I don't think so. I may have to pull it back up a little bit, get it adjusted just right. Maybe that's just how it is. It wasn't that low before. Alright, so put the wheel on a little loose just to look at it. Let me get my door holder here. If the door keeps closing while you're trying to work on it, put a big old socket in there. It works great. No, I guess I didn't have to get in. So, get the camera over here. Got the wheel on. It's about as low as it's going to go. So I'm just, and this is down all the way, so I'm just going to pull it up till it looks nice. And that's where I'll tighten it all down. Okay, like I said, it's been probably a year since I did that filming. I'm not a YouTuber. was basically practicing. Mostly was I watched other YouTube videos on how to do it, and I was filming when I got a hiccup, when I ran into a problem. That's why mine's kind of cut up, and it's not a real good explanation how to do it from start to finish. But when you run into a problem, when I ran into a problem, I filmed it. Maybe you know, between my video and other people's, it'll make it go easier for you. The paper shims, it still leaks oil there at the paper shims. I've read some people use some silicone in there or some sort of sealant, but that shim it's a thickness. If you add sealant, you're adding thickness. So I haven't played with that too much, but that speedometer wire tube where it mounts to that flange, that piece on the end, mine was loose, so I took that out and sealed that up, thinking the oil's coming from there, and put it back together and put oil in it. It still leaks. It just drips a little bit. I just got to add oil to it every now and then. Other than that, yeah, I mean, it's working good. I did new tires and leaf spring. The tires my dad had, they were 15 years old. All original leaf springs, so I bought a whole kit for that. It lowered it. I did the what do they call them? Unileaf? It's the single leaf spring. I forget what they call monoleaf. Call it a monoleaf spring. I didn't do reverse eye, and it lowered it nice and went together. It rides a little bouncy on the big bumps, but it's fine, you know, for not swapping to a A-arm suspension and stuff. It's way better than it used to be. It holds the road. I can go down the freeway comfortably and feel safe. It's not grabbing ruts in the road and trying to throw you into the curb or anything in the gutter. And it's just steers nice. It steers easier. The new tires, I did put a little bit narrower tire than what my dad had on the front, and it made it much easier to turn a corner with. I can pretty much do it with one hand now, and that's without power steering. That's all original. So anyway, hope this video helps you. Get your truck out there and get it on the road.